dear. Okay, we're going to call the May 5th Commissioners meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Welcome to our visitors. I want to deviate just a second here for public input. For any of you who don't know, Nicholas, will you stand up, please? This is Nicholas Whitworth, our new plan director for Marshall County. Very happy to have him aboard. Thank you. We're looking forward to good things. Yep. Thank you very much. I want to make sure everybody knew. Next, we'll put on public input on agenda items. Anybody got anything they want to comment on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. Jason? There he is.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I need to ask you to make sure when you sit down, pull the microphone towards you so we can hear you better. We're having trouble with people hearing us at home and in the back of the room.
First, I think we had the bids for the community crossings to open.
Yes. Sean, you will go ahead with that?
Yeah. Okay, we have 3 bids. The first is from E&B Paving Inc. from Rochester, Indiana. Okay, we have the Form 96 with the non-inclusion affidavit. Financial statement. Bid bond. Would you like those broken down by project, Jason, or just the total? You can do lump sum for community crossings and lump sum for the estimates on the additional paving. Okay. All right. The total for all the roads for community crossings is $2,052,783.80. $2,052,783.80. Okay, next we have Milestone Contractors LLP from South Bend, Indiana. We have the bid bond. Financial statement, Form 96. Inclusion affidavit. Okay. The total amount is $1,916,209.80. $1,916,209.80. And last, we have Ruth Riley Construction Co. Inc. from South Bend, Indiana. Form 96 with the inclusion affidavit, bid bond, financial statement. Okay, total amount $2,091,668.04. $2,091,668.04.
Those are all pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Is this one of these we have to take the low bid, or do we have discretion on,
Have some discretion depending on, but normally, yeah, low bid, unless you have a good reason. We've done business all three of these. You have the additionals too, Sean?
Yes. Go ahead and take those in the same order. This is for the additional paving. E&B Paving Inc. from Rochester, Indiana. And I have the Form 96 with the inclusion affidavit, the financial statement, and bid bond. Total amount of $569,014.10. $569,014.10. Next, we have Milestone Contractors LP from South Bend, Indiana. The bid bond. Financial statement. The Form 96 with the inclusion affidavit. Total amount $537,904.50. $537,904.50. And last, Ruth Riley Construction Co. Inc. from South Bend, Indiana. The bid bond, Form 96 with the inclusion affidavit and financial statement. Total amount $578,270.10. $578,270.10.
That all of them, Sean?
Yes.
Thank you. Jesse, did you have any concerns or anything? You asked
No, I just,
Okay.
Just wondering,
I
yeah.
didn't know if there's something you wanted to address or not.
No,
At this point in time, I guess I will entertain a motion to take these under advisement, and then, once the highway department's report is finalized, him and Sean will go to the back office and look at all these and try to make a determination.
so moved.
the second.
Motion made and seconded to, take these under advisement for, Sean and Jason to go to the back office and, look at them and report back to us at the end of the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And just for the public's benefit, that was, we tried to meet some NDOT deadlines, I guess, to see if we could make a decision yet today and get this moving forward.
Oh boy, thank you. Angie, I'm assuming we need all these read into the record, correct? Should. Yeah, we'll do that. You wanna scroll up here, Tori?
They're not listed. They're not listed. Those are not listed on the report.
Oh, thank you.
Better you than me.
Okay,
want these, Stan, to read, or probably easier?
yeah, you got it. Okay, these are for DSM groups. Do I have that right, Jason?
You do?
For Comcast. These basically would be road bores for fiber. The first one is Oak Road between First Road and Tyler Road for a road bore. The second one is First Road, Oak Road, between Pine Road and Michigan Street. I believe that's another bore, directional bore. Third one is West 1A Road, between Oak Road and Walnut Street. These are all North Township too. The next one is Oak and Third Road between Highway 6 and Third Road. It's another bore. Fourth one is Third Road between Olive Road and Nutmeg Road. It's another directional bore. The next one is Nutmeg Road to Third Street between Oak and Fourth Road in North Township, another bore. Make sure I don't miss one here. The next one is Pine Road between First Road and the Grand Arm of the Republic Highways, US 6, all North Township again, directional bore. The next one is Pine Road between Third Road and US Highway 6, North Township, another bore. The next one is Olive Road between Third Road and West 3B Road, another bore. The next one is 3B Road / Olive Road. Says it's not applicable. Up and down Third Road somewhere, 3B Road. North Township is directional bore. And I believe that's all that group for Comcast. Got a motion to approve.
So moved.
And second,
Motion made.
and I will say before we vote, it's exciting to see all this stuff going on.
Microphone here.
I've had some calls from some constituents wondering when they were gonna get better, fiber connectivity in North Township, and it looks like that's starting to move forward, so.
And I'll be honest with you, this is why we pushed to buy the back machine, because we knew this was all coming and we didn't want to have problems working around it. So, did I have a second? You second that?
Yes.
Motion made second to approve the first base for Comcast. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Where's the next list, Jason?
Ones I just handed you.
Okay. Keep these here together. The next group is also, this is also for Comcast. BSM groups on behalf of Comcast. These are all, I believe, bores again, another 12 lease permits. First one is North U Trail, Tyler Road to West First Road. Bore, structural bore. The second one is North Thorn Road, Tyler Road between Tyler Road and West First Road. That's in Polk Township. The last one was in Polk Township also, I'm sorry. Directional bore. Another Polk Township, this is North Thorn Road between US Highway 6 and West First Road, directional bore. Fourth one is West 1C Road between Union Road and Thorn Road, Polk Township, directional bore. Next one is North Union Road, West 1C Road and West First Road, Polk Township, another directional bore. Next one is North Union Road between West 3B Road and US Highway 6, Polk Township, directional bore. Next one is West 2A Road between North Tamarack and Highway 6, Polk Township also, directional bore. The next one is North Tamarack Road, West 2A Road between US Highway 6 and West 2C Road, directional bore in Polk. Next one is North Rose Road between US Highway 6 and West 2B Road, Polk Township, directional bore. Sure, them stuck together. The next one is North Queen Road and Highway 6 between West First Road and Highway 6, Polk Township, directional bore. Next one is North Quince Road, Polk Township, between US 6 and West 2B Road, directional bore. The next one is West 2B Road again, between North Quince and North Sycamore Road, directional bore. And that was the last one of that group.
All right, I move that we approve those 12 permits as presented.
Second. Motion been made and seconded to approve the 12 permits for Comcast in Polk Township. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, moving along, these are all Legion Engineering, Jason. These are all for Legion Engineering. What's a plow machine? Is that like directional bore?
There are spots where they may plow some areas.
Okay. This is, excuse me, for Region Engineering, this is 13th Road between State Road 17. Doesn't say what's between, along State Road 17, I'm assuming. It says west of South Rose Road. And this is a boring and a plow machine. Next one is 13th Road, west of South Rose Road on 13th Road, the same. It's 13th Road again, 16501 13th and west of 15493 13th. It's again bore and plow machine. 13th Road, 15493 13th and 14544 13th. Boring and a plow machine. Next one is 13th Road again, 14544 13th and 13460 13th.
I think they've got every house on the road listed on these.
Pretty much. Next is 13th Road and Muckshaw, 13460 13th and 13222 Muckshaw Road. Bore rig and a plow machine. Next one is Muckshaw Road between 13222 Muckshaw and South Maple Road. Next one is 14th Road between South Maple and 11985 14th. The next one is 14th Road again between 11985 14th and Michigan Road. These are all bore and plow machines. Next one is 14th Road, starting 900 foot west of Michigan Road on 14th Road, proceeding to 9905 14th Road. Next one is 14th Road, 9905 14th Road to South Juniper. Next one is 14th Road, South Juniper Road, and 8998 14th. Next one is 14th Road, 8300 14th and 7300 14th. Next one is 14th Road again, 7300 14th and 6667 14th. 14th Road again, 67 14th and South Filbert Road. Next one is also 14th Road, South Filbert and 4702 14th. 14th Road and South Elm between 4702 14th and 14B Road. The next one is South Elm Road and 14B Road between 14B and State Road 331. Next one is 14B Road between State Road 331 and Cedar. The next one is 14B Road between Cedar and 1066 14B Road. Man, the end's got to be here somewhere. 14B Road between 1066 14B and County Line Road. And I believe that's all of them.
It looks like those were in southern Center Township, Walnut Township, and Bourbon.
Argus
Yeah.
and Bourbon, down that area.
Real quick question for you guys. Maybe you know. I'm familiar with a lot of the companies that have been in here doing the boring and stuff for the fiber optic type deal. Who is Zayo?
Huh?
Zayo. That's the first time I've heard of.
Where do you see it? On behalf of, I don't know. Jason, can you answer that?
It's just an engineering firm that's coming through installing fiber. Then they got Legion to put the fiber in.
Are they subcontracted out by like Surf or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
That was their own
thing.
no touch with Surf Air or any of those.
A lot of this, and I don't know if it's the case here, through the state grants, they get paid per hookup.
Gotcha.
And I think there's people that come in, because people have been complaining of why do we have 2 or 3 companies coming through that, like a housing development, we don't control that.
Mm-hmm.
Which we do. There's a lot of fiber underground.
Yeah, the state
side by
controls
side.
that, and I think that's probably what's going on here.
Subcontracted.
Subcontracted sub, yeah, because they're after that grant money.
We're getting movement, so I'm.
And just so people know, I know I've had some calls about Polk Township. They didn't see anything happening. There was an issue with the poles. They had to do some re-engineering, and that's what held it up there a few months. So I think Comcast should be back on schedule.
Well, I move that we approve the 21 permits for Legion Engineering as presented.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the Legion Engineering permits as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
No updates on Yule Trail, Bridge 232 Randolph Street. Work that was completed last week. Laporte Construction formed Bent 1 and poured the lower portion of it in place this week. Fort Wayne reinforcement on site to place it. Tie all the rebar into the bent. A jump was made from forming Pier 2 due to missing some framework, so Laporte Construction switched to the Bent 2 to keep the project moving forward. Work to be completed this week. Laporte Construction plans to erect formwork on Pier 2 and have Fort Wayne reinforcement on site to place the ties for all the rebar in Pier 2. If all goes well, Laporte Construction hopes to pour Pier 2 by midweek. Laporte will strip the formwork from Bent 1. Just to clarify from the last meeting, request approval to purchase a software of $5,690 and request to purchase yearly subscription going forward, $6,840. I think I had those backwards from what we found out. The highway will pay this year's subscription fee, then IT will continue with the yearly subscription going forward. So hopefully that clears all that up now.
Angie, do we need to re-vote on that since he had them backwards?
No, this is just a clarification
Okay.
of what, the numbers were correct, they were just reversed. So
Okay.
since this is a clarification, I think we're good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. Bridge 231 Center Street, consulting parties appeal has been made to change the historic bridge design from non-select to select. The appeals is being reviewed by NDOT right now for the historic bridge specialist. The geotech field work is expected to occur in May. Once the final dates are determined, myself and the town of Bremen will be notified. As a reminder, because of the historic process, this project has been pushed back to fiscal year 2028 and has a new letting date of August 27th. Bridge 88, 12th Road, east of Olive Trail, a preliminary relocation route is being discussed and designed. Bridge 108, East 7th Road, geotech investigation will be completed this month. Bridge inspections quarterly report Q2 was completed. 2026 to 2029 bridge inspections. Scoring has been completed. United Consulting, or USI Consulting, was the highest ranking firm. Others that applied was United Consulting, DLZ, and Collins Engineering, all submitted RFPs. We'll be proceeding with the LPA consulting contract and negotiations with USI. Once completed, we'll send that to NDOT for approval. Call for projects in the special safety call. The pavement striking kickoff meeting has been scheduled for May 8th. EV grants to Ford Lightning is in. I need PO signed for the amount of $62,380.
And that's already been approved. It's a matter of approving the purchase contract. Please sign it. I think it's got one signature on it. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the purchase contract on the Ford Lightning with the president signing on behalf of the board.
Second.
Motion been made second to approve the purchase agreement with Bozak Ford for $62,380 for the Lightning pickup truck for the highway department. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And are you getting with that lady to get the,
One more time, sorry.
are you getting with that person to get the reimbursement started?
Yes,
Okay.
those have been submitted.
Okay.
The first ones that we submitted, there was clerical error on their part. So those got pushed back about a month.
Okay,
But those have been submitted and they are in for reimbursements.
okay.
Road work, the reclaiming process has started. Road gravels are being prepped for dust control. Most likely they will start spraying dust control this week. And that's all I got.
Okay.
Anyone have anything else for Jason?
I guess the one question we've had a conversation about this outside the meeting. I want to make sure we brought it up in the meeting and maybe had a chance to vote on it. I know we've got that one new pothole repair machine that is being the existing piece of equipment that's being rehabbed. What's our status on that one?
That should be out this week.
Excellent. When that gets rolling, I'd like to get out there and see that thing in action. So let me know.
I will definitely do that.
And then as far as a second one goes, is that something we want to talk about now, or is that something we want to wait on? Okay.
I think Jason called last week. Did you clarify the price? Because, you know, there was two prices I think I told you about.
The one had a compressor added to it to be able to run jackhammers and those type scenarios. Don't quote me on that price, but it was $108,000. Without it was $99,500. So there was a slight difference between the two based upon having the air compressor on it able to run different tools.
Do we need that?
I don't think we do.
Okay. I just remember when I talked to him last December that he was telling me there's two different machines.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
But outside of that, they were identical. It's just the other attachments that it had to it.
Have you any more conversations with the neighboring county?
I did. They are going to decline. They are going to decline the purchase.
Okay.
The biggest thing was they had some different issues come up, and they're looking at using that money towards something else right now. They said if you do not let us know later on, just for sitting right now, we're not in a position to do it.
The reason I don't want to do anything until I knew, sir, we had someone right
For sure.
on their part. We get caught.
Yeah.
I guess what we could do is put that zipper on the Gov website with a minimum.
Yep.
See what happens, and just so the public knows, we don't. Most people, I gotta lean forward. sorry. We have a piece of equipment out there since we have the new Bomac machine, Bomag, or whatever you call it, the grinder. We don't use the zipper anymore, and it's worth a lot of money. And we thought about selling it and using that money to replace, buy another new patch machine if this works out well. So I guess.
And we're pretty confident that that machine will sell and it will bring a
Well,
substantial amount. It's just a matter of
In my eyes, it will.
Yeah.
I mean, I've looked on the internet,
Yeah.
different places, and it's over what we're looking to buy the patch machine for.
And most of them are junk. When you look online, most of them are junk.
and ours is in pretty good shape.
It is in very good
Ours
shape.
ours is pretty much close to new condition.
It's pretty good shape.
10 years old.
Do we need a motion to authorize the auction then, or?
I would prefer a motion that I put it online. I don't want to talk about a dollar amount in public
Yep.
meeting, what
Yep.
we would be looking for, but let him put it with a minimum.
All right.
Authorize it, and if that works out, we would go ahead and, because they have the other new machine in stock.
Mhm.
It
It's
is.
a matter of calling, we have it next day.
So I move that we authorize the auction of the, what's the name of that one again?
Asphalt zipper.
Of the asphalt zipper with a reserve that's appropriate for market value.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to allow Jason to go ahead and advertise the asphalt zipper with an appropriate market value minimum. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And then for that new machine that we're gonna bring in, do we have funds in place to do that, or do we need to look at a lease option for the year, or?
So the whole idea of that was if we was able to sell the asphalt zipper, Total Patcher was willing to work with us based upon selling that due to the fact we assumed we'd probably get enough money to cover the cost for that.
Mm.
He's perfectly inclined with doing that. He gave us a grace period of X amount of days, depending on if we was to sell. I think that was the big thing is we wanted to make sure we actually was going to get that. So even looking at this, if we advertise it for 2 weeks, we should know an answer. So hopefully, maybe by even the next meeting, if we get that out today on Gov Deals or tomorrow, run that through its time, we potentially would have an idea if it's going to bring the amount of money we anticipate it will or not.
Okay.
And if it does, I think that was the whole idea then was take that money and appropriate it back into where we purchased that from, then look to purchase that. Well, we'd have to transfer that into the line item, then look to purchase that.
Okay, so could we authorize beginning that process to get that second machine on the way in, or is that?
I prefer to wait 2 weeks till we see what's going to happen. I don't want to go to the council if we wind up with egg on our face.
Well, I mean, here's where I'm at. I wanna do that
Oh, I do too.
this year, whether we sell that piece of equipment or not. So I'd like to go to the council and get them to authorize us to start moving on this.
I would be okay with going to council, absolutely.
I would, if we could at their next meeting, just ask for a vote of support that one way or another, they're gonna enable us to do this, because I don't wanna wait another couple months to get this piece in. We need to use that this summer.
I would agree. Is that your motion?
I move to request Jason to take a proposal to the council for support on the purchase of the second pothole repair machine.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded motion been made and seconded to have Jason take a proposal to the council for the purchase of a second, pothole eco patcher machine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
See, that's a sense of urgency right there.
Yeah. Anything else? Evan? No. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
You guys want to retire back to the back room and back when you're done. Janice. There she is. Janice Holiday for Council of Aging. Would you state your name and title for the record, Janice, please?
Good morning, I'm Janice Holiday, the Executive Director of the Marshall County Council on Aging. I thought I had a lot of stuff for you today, but after Jason, it doesn't look so bad. So the first thing is our quarterly claim for the first quarter of 2025. Our expenses totaled $130,977, and we had revenues of $13,774. That came to net expenses then of $117,203, and the federal 5311 funds. For that would be 58,601. We got 15,000 from the state, which left the local match of 43,602. We did 6,991 trips for the quarter. It was up a little bit from the last one, but our denials were also up quite a bit from the last quarter. So I guess I need any questions on the claim?
You need a motion to approve that, your report, correct?
Correct. And for the claim, yeah.
Need a motion for the claim and the report.
For the, yeah. That's for the van arriving today, claim, or the other?
This one is for my first quarter operating claim.
Well, real quick before we vote, I'm just curious, what qualifies, or what parameters are used for approvals and denials for stuff like this? Because I see 182 in county and 190 out of county. So how does that process work?
They're just that we can't take them when they need to go. So it's within an hour of their request. So if we can take them an hour early, that doesn't count as a denial. So it's either if we can take them in that time frame, or sometimes we get requests for 4 o'clock in the morning. We don't do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then so those are mostly in county. The ones are say from Bremen to Plymouth or Culver, that kind of thing. And then out of county it could be anywhere from we go to Mishawaka quite a bit. But we also go to Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, those, and sometimes we just either don't have enough drivers or our schedule's full, that kind of stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Looks like it's about a 94% approval rating, which I think is very good. So,
We definitely try our best.
Do I have a motion to approve her quarter report for claim?
so moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the quarter report presented by Janice and the claim. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next is another claim for a van that is actually supposed to be delivered this afternoon. And so NDOT pays 85% of that. It's just a replacement. We're going to get rid of one of our older ones when we get this one. So the total for the van was $69,946.40. Of that, NDOT will pay $59,454, which leaves us with $10,492.
Do I have a motion to approve that claim for the new van?
So moved.
And it's got one signature on the
With the president signing the sole signature.
Second.
motion made and seconded to approve the claim of the purchase of the new van to be delivered today with the president signing on behalf of the commissioners. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And the next thing is our application for 2026. It's actually due May 16th. So I shall plan on going to the council next week with that as well. But our budget for next year is $678,838. We're estimating again $57,000 from the state. The federal share will be half of that for $310,919. And then we also included 2 more replacement vans to get for next year. I did put in an opportunity to hold a public hearing on that. I did not receive any requests for that.
How does that compare to this year's?
We raised it a little bit. I think I mentioned last time I was here that we're hoping to expand our hours a little bit. So that's everything that we raised basically goes to operator salaries.
Where I was going with it. I thought that's what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And a question on the local match, does that come from the commissioner's budget, or are there any other local agencies that contribute to that?
There is, and in that mountain of paperwork I sent you, it has a list of them. So part of it is from the county, but also the city of Plymouth gives us some money. Culver, Argus, and Berman all give us money. The Center Township trustee. We also get Title III money through Real Services. We get some money from the DAV. And then we also have some memorandums of understanding with like Millersburg Manor, Project Hope, Marshall Stark, all those, so all that local match comes from there.
Well, I move that we approve or authorize the application for the 5311 grant.
Second.
Motion made second to allow Janice to allow the application for the 5311 grant for year 26. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. These are all your signature pages.
Oh, wonderful.
And a few for Sean as well, so.
We up to about 40 for Jason. How many you got here? So
Yeah,
we need a lot.
not that many, yeah, but,
Okay.
yeah, if there's any questions, just let me know and we'll address
Very
those as
much.
they come. All right, thank you.
Next, we have the health department. Anybody here from the health department? Have a memorandum of understanding with the Council on Aging. Do you have that, Janet or Angie?
Yeah, I do have that in front of me, and I don't know, Janice, I might make you come back up because this was just sent to me. I really don't know that much about what this is. This looks like the health department is doing an MOU to pay for riders referred by the Marshall County Health Department. Am I understanding that properly?
Yes, she said she needed that in place before we could bill them for rides. She wants to give her clients, we sell tokens to the general public and also to third parties. So that's basically how it would work, is we would sell tokens to the health department and they could give them out to their clients as they see fit.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve this memorandum of understanding?
Motion to approve with discussion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the memorandum of agreement between the Marshall County Council of Aging and the Marshall County Health Departments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well, I wanted
I'm
to,
sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Do we know, is this in the health department's budget? I'm assuming that they probably have funds for this, or?
No one has
Okay.
discussed this with me. I just received an email with this to put on the agenda, so I really don't know what this is about necessarily, or if there's a funding in place. I don't know if she's got a source already thought of.
Okay.
And it would be just as they need it too. She could buy 10 tokens, for $20 if she wanted to. So it certainly would not be a set budget amount for her.
Real quick, do we know what we're theoretically looking at for our budget as far as the health first funding and stuff like that from state?
Oh, it's going down about 70%.
60%, something like that.
Yeah.
Is it going down 2 or going down by 60%?
So the budget was for like 150 million, and they cut it to 40 million.
Okay.
So we're going to see a significant decrease. So this doesn't sound like this is going to be a significant outlay.
No. You I commend the motion pending funding.
Yeah, I'd just like to get a email from the health department just stating where they're planning on getting the funds from. So,
Is this time sensitive?
No.
You want to
Not
delay
as
this
far as
till
I'm
next meeting?
concerned.
Get an answer from the health department?
yeah, motion to table.
Well, we'd have to
Wait,
vote
we
on the original
We
motion.
have one original motion to deny.
Actually, I think the motion to table is has preference.
I don't know, Sean, does the motion table have preference after a motion's been made?
I will defer to Jesse on any matters of parliamentary procedure. He's caught up on that
So
stuff.
move to amend your original motion.
Roger, we'll just motion to table the next meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, second.
Motion made, second, to go ahead and table this till the next meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Janice. Next, assessor, Peter Paul. I seen you walk in a minute ago.
Okay. So I have another memorandum.
Name and title, please.
Oh, Peter Paul, Marshall County Assessor.
Thank you.
what I brought before you guys today is another memorandum of understanding between Marshall County and Michiana Area Council of Governments for a data sharing agreement for pictometry aerial photography. We've participated under an agreement like this for, I want to say, the last 8 years, and so this is, generally done under a 6-year term with flights flown every 2 years. This is the first year of this next set of flights. The data sharing agreement basically has MACOG ordering the flights, and then Marshall County, the participating counties, each sharing in the cost of that. Prior to this, Marshall County did have pictometry flown independently, and the cost was a lot more than the $50,000 every 2 years that we're looking at through this agreement. So we're hoping that we can get this approved and continue on with the data sharing. I do have money in my budget for this, as it's been ongoing for a number of years, so there's no additional funding needed. It's just hoping we can continue with that partnership.
So what's the correct term we're using here, just the pictometry?
Yeah, it's pictometry contract. Yeah,
MACOG.
Yeah.
I have a motion to approve.
I move to approve the memorandum of understanding with MACOG for the pictometry agreement.
Second.
Motion made second to approve the contract with MACOG for the pictometry agreement. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Peter. Have a nice day. Probation Department, Beth.
Good morning.
Morning. State your name and title, please.
Elizabeth Schott, Interim Chief Probation Officer.
Thank you much.
Are you ready for me?
Yeah. go ahead.
Okay, we are requesting the purchase of a new copier printer fax machine. Ours is 10 plus years old. They no longer make parts for our old machine, and we're having continuous issues with it. So we're requesting to take from a unfilled position in our department and transfer the money over to make the purchase.
Do you have to go to the council then to get that approved or not?
It would, yeah, there'll be a transfer
Yeah.
on for that, because I believe it's going from a 10 to a 30. So this would just be approving the contract for, and I believe you had two.
I have
that you were
two.
looking at.
I have two, and we're open to either. We have Adams Ramco, which we have not worked with, but it's my understanding that other agencies within the county have used them and are happy with them. It is, the price is $4,720. I also went with US Business Systems. That's somebody we've worked with for 10 plus years. They have been very good to us. With the Kyocera, that price point is $5,045. We would prefer to stick with what we know. However, we understand the cost is less with the Adams Ramco, and we'd be fine with that purchase as well. They're both very comparable.
Can you scroll back up to Adams Ramco? How much was that?
Adams Ramco is $4,720.
It's like about a $300-400
Okay,
difference.
I see. Well,
Would there be any advantages to the more expensive option that would justify the additional expense?
I'm going to be honest, it's just the business relationship we've had with them in the past.
What price difference is $300?
Yeah.
personally, we have Adams Ramco. I think has most of the building, don't they?
They have several, but my office uses US Business Systems as
Your
well.
office uses US.
Yes, that's where ours is from. And it's just kind of a variation. I think some use Adams Remco, some use US Business. It's really whoever the office reaches out to. A lot of offices have inherited their copier, fax, printer from previous administrations. Obviously, if theirs has lasted 10 plus years, that's a pretty good, because I'm sure it gets quite a bit of use down
yes.
there. So that it really doesn't matter. I mean, everybody uses it, pretty much whoever they can come up with the best cost or best relationship.
So I will say from my experience during the budget process, we look for these $300 cuts. And so, because I know we're gonna have to cut a lot of, stuff out of the budget for next year, I think we need to go with the lower price one. It's, yeah, if there's not an advantage to the higher price, I would say let's go with the less, expensive one.
Real quick, I'm just looking down the quoted list price on stuff. I'm trying to figure out how we go from 18,549 down to 4220.
It's a lease, right?
We're purchasing.
Oh,
Yeah, I just bought a copy machine for our office and got a similar proposal from two different companies. And I think it's, I don't know why, if that's like the stock price, but that they show everybody so they can make it seem like they're giving a discount. I don't understand how the business works, but I think that seems to be a typical thing that they show you. This is what it would cost. And
Well, yeah, because my math ain't mathing on that one.
Heck of a price break.
Is there any associated annual cost for maintenance upkeep between the two vendors?
Honestly, I all I know is what's on these documents. I'm not very tech savvy, but I know overall the Adams Ramco would be less expensive for maintenance and upkeep.
Jesse has a motion on the floor, so.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to go with the purchase of the copier for the probation department for Adams Remco for $4,720 pending approval from the
the transfer.
transfer from the council.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you do down there.
Thank you.
Next we have, I see Brent just walk in. There he is. Come on up, Brent. Brent Martin with the priority projects. The owner occupied housing rehab. We have a change order.
I have a change order. This may be my last time in front of you because we're wrapping it up. This is on home number.
Just state your name and.
Oh, yes. Brent Martin, 15413 12th Road. I'm here regarding the owner occupied repair program. We are wrapping up that program and I have a change order. This is on home number 14, which you may recall we've had two previous change orders. One was a deduct and the other was a fairly significant add because the roof decking was in poor condition. I'll just put it that way. We replaced, I think, 19 or 20 sheets of roof deck in the process. And as we determined toward the end of that project, the masonry chimney needed to be rebuilt because it was also in very poor condition. That was not in our original scope, and so I have a change order for that, and the change order is in the amount of $5,625. That puts this particular home at $24,782.77, so still a little bit below the $25,000 maximum. And I would tender that for your approval and answer any questions you may have about it.
Any questions?
Just for clarification
Yes.
for the public, because a lot of folks, this might be the first meeting that they're watching.
Sure.
This is a grant that
Yes.
is 100% from outside sources.
That's correct.
The commissioners are overseeing the administration of this, but there's no local funds involved.
There are no local funds involved at all. That should you decide to pursue this grant in the future, there is now a 10% local match that you have to provide, but that is not the case for this grant.
It's also going to be administered through Oakville.
And it is, yeah, that's correct. It is administered through Okra, not IHCDA anymore.
Do I have a motion to approve? One signature.
I move that we approve the change order as presented with the president signing on behalf of the board.
Second.
Motion made second to approve the change order as presented with the commissioner or president of the board signing on behalf of the commissioners. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Very good. Thank you so much.
And thank you for your work on this project. It's provided a lot of value for our folks, so.
It has. We did 15 homes for low-income homeowners, and by and large, lots of roofs, of course, and some furnaces and hot water heaters and that kind of stuff. It's been not an easy process getting all through it, but it has been very rewarding, and you should be proud that we're able to accomplish it. Thank you. Now I need to go next door and drop off light in my wallet.
Appreciate that.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Next, Jack, EMA.
Jack Garner, EMA Director. Two items there. First is the ratification of April 28th disaster declaration. Let's go ahead and approve that before I touch the next one, if that's okay.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made second to approve the April 28th emergency disaster declaration. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, the second one was on May 5th, so that would be today, to extend it for another week. I met with Tori last week and said, let's go ahead and put that on there for now. We're still trying to hear from the state. It is my understanding that if we would like to let that expire, we do not need to renew that this week. The state has gone ahead and taken action and activated their state disaster relief fund to include Marshall County, and the application to FEMA that the state has done has been submitted. So from my understanding, there is no more incentive for us to have that declaration out. We had it when the disaster happened. The governor's is going to expire this week as well. That's up to you guys, but we should be good to let that go now.
The 5th. The one for
Yeah,
today.
we don't need to renew today.
Okay.
And it's going to sunset, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that did sunset.
Okay.
Yep.
So, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work on this.
Next, we have the attorney report.
The only thing I have to report is to give an update on the discussions about the potential the tower at the jail that we've been talking with. I have scheduled tomorrow at 4:30 a Zoom meeting with Marvin Robinson with MD7, the company that's facilitating this, as well as the attorney for their company, to talk through some questions I had about the legal documents that they'd sent over. So I'm working on that. Hopefully, I'd hope to have something to present to you today, but it'll likely be next meeting if everything goes smoothly. So.
Okay. Any updates on litigation?
I don't think anything to share today.
Okay. That's the case. We'll move on. You guys got any questions for Sean?
I'm good for right now.
I'm good.
Okay, move on to the auditor report.
I have your April 21st minutes.
Motion to approve the April 21st minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion made second, made second to approve the April 21st minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have payroll claims.
I move to approve the payroll claims.
Second.
Motion been made second to approve the payroll claims. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion second.
And I have accounts payable claims.
I move to approve the accounts payable claims as presented.
Second.
Motion been made second to approve the accounts payable claims. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Madam Auditor?
No. That is all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. We come to the part of the meeting now. If anybody has any public comments on anything on your mind, please raise your hand, come forward. Tell us what's on your mind. Seeing none, we'll move on. Commissioner items. We have the annual report to the Congressional Township and Common School Fund, and I'm not familiar with this one.
This is something that we have to do each year. The Congressional Township Fund, you just have to accept the balance that is in there. In the Common School Fund, we distribute the interest out of these funds to the local units, to the schools. So the Congressional Township Fund has a balance of $21,222.93, and the Common School Fund has a current balance of $882.28. And I just need a motion to accept that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made second to accept that report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And next we have the, is that all there you have on that one, Angie? Next we have the all of the prepaid request for the new maintenance truck coming. So not here yet, don't know when it'll come, so I just want to be able to, pay for it. I do see our auctions going on online for other vehicles, so I think that ends week Thursday, so bit high. Do I have a motion to approve a prepay for the maintenance truck?
So moved.
Does that require a signature?
Huh?
Does that require your signature for this?
No, just have a motion, have it in record so she can go ahead and get a check ready.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Second.
Motion made second to do a prepay for Oliver Ford for the new maintenance truck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next is ordinance 2025-14, electronic data processing for the sheriff on second, third reading. We had this presentation last meeting. He's in the building, he must be going. Anybody got any questions, discussions on this?
My only reason to want to carry it over is to see if we got any public comment on it. And since we've received no public comment, I move that we adopt ordinance 2025-14 on second and third readings.
Second.
Motion made second to adopt ordinance 2025-14 on the electronic data processing for the sheriff on second and third reading. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next, we have ordinance 2025-15, the public defender ordinance. We did the same last meeting. We wanted to wait to see if the public had any comments. I heard nothing. Anything I heard was good, at least favorable.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody realizes we had a Delphi situation up here. It cost us a boatload of money, and at least we get reimbursed for a bunch of it. So,
yeah.
I see Judge Teresa back there. Anything you want to add before we vote?
Yeah, I did want to clarify one point. I think there was a little bit of confusion. There was a lot of data that was thrown out at the last meeting. Yeah, go ahead and you want to state your name and the title for the record?
Judge Cerisi, Marshall Circuit Court Judge.
Yeah.
Thank you, commissioners.
Yep. So my question, just to clarify, my understanding is that there's a lot of individual items coming from different buckets that contribute to the overall cost of what it costs to move somebody through the criminal justice system. And that while the Public Defenders Council may shift some of those costs into paying more for public defense, even if you look at the state match combined with what we would pay here locally, the overall cost for public defense is going to be higher. But we anticipate, based on what this program has done in other counties, that it will lower the costs in the other areas of the system so that the overall effectiveness would be savings for the taxpayer.
Absolutely. And so today, last time we kind of focused heavily on the reimbursement component of that. And you get some questions about, aren't we really shifting tax dollars around and things like that? Well, that's the case to a certain component of it. And the overall answer would be, on the grand scale, would like the state just to take less of our money and let us spend it at home. But there are significant benefits besides the reimbursement to the county. And to that extent, I brought additional data for you here today. I have a presentation that was given to the House Ways and Means Committee down at the State House in 2019 that gave the statistic that Commission counties have a 16% lower jail population than counties that do not follow the same standards. So you're talking about, in addition to reimbursement, possible 16% less jail population. We kind of hinted about that because of quicker processing time to IDOC. Another comparison or benefit outside of that reimbursement would be that Commission counties at that time of the study had a 20% lower rate of recidivism. So less offenders repeating if you had that process in place. And then a very important statistic to me, and it's children were out of the home when they were removed out of the home for a period of 50 days shorter time. And so when you talk about tax dollars in general, when you have children removed out of the home, the state, the feds, they're paying for that. So that's a savings in tax dollars as well. So those kind of statistics weren't brought up at the last meeting, but those are other savings that are factored into this as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
So if that carries over for us, that 16% lower jail population, that would be about 20 inmates for us today. So that would be a significant savings for us if it played out here.
Right, and you keep in mind you're going to compare it county to county, counties of similar size, and as crime goes up, the inmate population goes up. But comparatively, they're saying it's a 16% lower jail population if you have these standards in place. And then just the 50 days shorter period of time out of the home for kids is great.
Yeah.
So.
And I think what you're kind of alluding to is the fact that if you can get them out of there quicker, it's less feeding them, less
Healthcare, yeah,
which is a big number we spend.
mental health resources.
Yep, everything, yeah, just everything. So, do I have a motion to approve 2025-15 on second reading, then third reading?
So moved. Second and third.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the public defenders ordinance 2025-15 on second and third reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
I would think that is going to now give us the responsibility to appoint someone to this board, right?
That's right. You have a pick, and
How
that's.
soon?
Well, we need to get looking at this. Our data will start to come in for what the savings would look like in 2024 past. The staff has all now been trained, and they're going to start to report the first parts of the data. Within a couple months, we should start to put a board together because they need to present a fiscal comprehensive plan of what the cost would be to the county council, who will have the ultimate decision on whether this is a go or not.
Okay, thank you very much, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So do we need to add that to a future agenda? Would we want to put that board appointment on for, say, the first meeting in July, possibly?
Yeah.
If you read the ordinance, it specifies that the board consists of 3 members, 1 a member appointed by the county executive, which has an initial term that will expire on July 1st of 2028. So I would imagine that your terms are going to run through June 30th and go with the fiscal year of the state.
Yeah.
So that is something we can add to a future agenda. We can add it to the second meeting of June,
Yeah.
so it can take effect on July 1st.
Perfect. That's what I would do. That way they're there for July 1st. Lastly, we have Jason. Come on back up.
Actually, real quick before we end commissioners' items, I was alerted that we need to reappoint you to be the commissioner's representative on the battery task force.
Staring at me now. I would have forgotten again. Yes.
So that is important work. I'm glad to know that we're moving forward with our ordinances on the items that are under moratorium right now. And so I move to reappoint Commissioner Klotz as the commissioner's.
Reappoint. I was not there to start with.
Okay. So then I move to appoint Commissioner Klotz to be the commissioner's representative on the battery task force.
Second.
Motion made and second, but there's more than just a battery, so all the ordinances. You follow me?
Okay, so for the working group for all of the
Yes.
items that
Yes.
are under moratorium
Yes.
currently. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I changed my motion to that, yes.
Motion made second to appoint myself as the commissioner's representative to the moratorium task force, looking at all the new ordinances. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jason, now, come on back up. I'm assuming you and Sean went through all these.
So, yeah, I looked at just the apparent low bidder was Milestone and checked all the math on the, just the community crossings application. Jason said that was even the one of urgency that needed to be acted on today. He's gonna go through the additional paving, and ask for approval of that at your next meeting, so.
Okay.
But all the math checked out on the bid.
So I got to ask you, is it when you look at the bid, is it best to keep it all with Milestone, or would they have managed to break some of these projects up, or?
Well, I think if we agree to go forward with it, we'd have to stick with Milestone because the reason it makes sense to do the additional paving is because they're there already.
And they actually were the low bidder on the additional paving as well.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
for right now, if we stay with Milestone, I'm talking like there's 4 projects on the community crossings. Is there any, they were all, Milestone was cheapest on all of them?
They were.
Okay.
Now, I think you would have that option on the additional paving if you wanted to, because that's something that we're putting out. Community crossings, though, I think you should stick to one contractor.
Okay.
And just to clarify the numbers, again, these numbers sometimes get confusing. We're looking at a bid for the community crossings project from Milestone for approximately $1.9 million.
$1,916,209.80.
Yep. And so what we get from the state is how much towards this project?
75%.
75%, up to $2 million?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So we're under.
Just a shade under.
Perfect. That's beautiful. Okay. Well, then I move that we award the community crossings grant to Milestone.
Second.
Motion made second to accept the community crossings bid, community crossings bid from Milestone in the amount of $1,916,209.80. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Did you guys by chance get the newsletter from the state on community crossings? They are not awarding a second call this time.
Yeah.
So things are gonna change going forward.
Yeah. I'm going to be interested to have a future conversation with Senator Dalton on what we're going to be doing on highway funding, because what I got from you was different from what I heard from the Commissioners Association, and I think there's probably still a little bit of confusion out there about what they're going to allow us to do without a wheel tax and all that
I
other
do
stuff.
think a lot of that may be cleared up tomorrow at our Northwest District meeting. I know that was supposed to be a topic that Ryan was supposed to go in depth in on, having a conversation over and kind of giving us ideas of what's coming or going forward.
Yeah, because it looks like there's more money there, but the question is, are there
The big
strings
one will
attached?
be, and again, just based upon what our board went through on the Zoom meeting, was the direct distribution miles. So they're cutting community crossings back on total dollar amounts, which I think it's going to be 100 million. Don't quote me. I mean, everything's subject to change, but and that first 50 million was for under 55,000. The other 50 million was for over 55,000. So you take that, and on 281 million that was awarded, yeah, there's going to be a lot less potential grants awarded, I think, or you're going to get portions, smaller increments, opposed to getting that full $1 million grant.
So we might not get as big of a grant, but we might get more direct money coming in per mile, right?
Yes, that direct distribution, but that's based upon a wheel tax.
So that requirement is in there?
That's a done deal.
Yeah, that was one thing that it wasn't directly related, but I think it was last week, we sat through the Cities and Towns organization AIM put on a webinar about Senate Bill 1. But that was one of the questions that they received there from some of the communities, and that was my understanding that my per mile additional money was tied to the wheel tax.
So they must have got that in conference committee, because I thought the Senate stripped that out of there. Senator Mishler fought that very hard to get the wheel tax requirement out of there. So
There's nothing associated with the regular community crossings, but Jason's right. With the lesser funding for community crossings, it's more likely that you're not going to get your full $1 million or 75% of your request probably.
I think they even lowered that to 20%.
Right.
And matched out for community crossings. Of course, that's, like I said, that stays the same, but technically it's just less dollars that's going to be out. And if I'm not mistaken, Sean, maybe you picked up on that too, but wheel tax would be tied to cities and towns as well, and the county would be separate, so it would be up to the cities and towns to implement their own wheel tax outside the counties.
Yeah, they have the ability to do that, yeah.
That way they couldn't double dip.
I don't think they can double dip.
I think that was the big reason why, because if we did, then Plymouth did technically they may be getting 2, this way they're only getting the
Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting discussion to shake this out and see how different scenarios will affect our revenue and stuff. I know we want to avoid any additional taxes if we possibly can, but if it's going to cost us millions of dollars of additional distribution to not.
Well, some of the numbers that were floating, again, nothing official, but a county that was comparable to our size, the direct distribution was almost $4 million. Now, granted, this probably will stem other counties to implementing something.
Yeah.
So that may reduce, but still, I think there's a fair amount of money there.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
And keep in mind too, that they're already talking about, there's gonna be changes in different parts of SB one cleanups. I don't know if that's gonna affect the road funding in any way, shape or form, but
I think the clarity of it was
Gonna be
still
some-
within
yeah.
question from some of the information that we've got too.
I think that was brought up in that webinar that there will be changes. Basically stay tuned.
Yeah, I think the overall takeaway from the session of the General Assembly is we are going to be in for a fun 5 months.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
One other thing, just to clear, for the EV, was that requested as a prepay?
Now,
Did I put that as, as soon as he said, okay.
that was interest prepay,
Yeah, federal grant.
always a
A
prepay.
federal grant is a prepay, and that, yeah, that's one that's allowed to be a prepay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Jason.
And I'll bring some pizza out when we get that pothole thing running. So.
Anyone have anything else? Any items? You have anything, Jesse?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made, second adjourned. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
45 minutes early.
I expect this to take a lot longer than that.